Welcome back to Facebook and Uncensored. My younger brother just messaged me to say that I was actually on holiday when that James Haskell story ran in the Daily Mirror. He remembered it. So I'm off the hook. So I may have to withdraw my apology to Mrs. Haskell, the mum. But actually, I'll take responsibility because I take accountability. When you're the boss, right? So I'll take that on for the team. Well, Prince Harry says he's a feminist. So in his own words, here's how he talks about women, from his mother-in-law to the disabled matron at his school.
You wrote, I even wanted Camilla to be happy. Maybe she'd be less dangerous if she was happy. Mm-hmm. How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
That made her dangerous?
That made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press.
I want to sort of just briefly talk about your stepmother in the press, because you are pretty consistently scathing and suggest that you are...
Scathing?
Well...
What's scathing towards...
Well, as in you say that your interests were sacrificed on her PR altar.
I think in the book it's very clear what happened. There's no part of any of the things that I've said are scathing towards any member of my family, especially not my stepmother. Unlike the other matrons, Pat wasn't hot. Pat was cold. Pat was small. Walking was hard, stairs were torture. She'd descend backwards, glacially. Often we'd stand on the landing below her doing antic dances, making faces. Do I need to say which boy did this with the most enthusiasm? We went on mocking her as she came down the stairs. The reward was worth the risk. For me, the reward wasn't tormenting poor Pat, but making my mates laugh. Who the hell is this editor? Loathsome toad, I gathered. Everyone who knew her was in full agreement that she was an infected pustule on the arse of humanity, plus an excuse for a journalist.
Now, that editor happens to be a good friend of mine. And, yeah, not a nice way to speak about a woman, right? Especially someone who gets so uptight when people use that kind of language about his wife. Well, joining me now is journalist and friend of Camilla, Petronella Wyatt, the Sun's royal photographer, friend of everybody, Arthur Edwards, and the journalist and historian, Dr. Tessa Dunlop. Arthur, let me start with you, because you've covered the royals for longer than I've been alive.
Well, not quite.
Sorry to jump that one on you.
Only 40 years, Chris.
Nearly.
40 years. Yeah.
But you know them. You've known them all very, very well. What do you make of this book and the interviews around it?
Well, I'm pretty disgusted the way he said about Camilla, because she is just the nicest person. And, when she married the prince, he risked everything for that. There was a lot of hostility towards him over that. But you know what? She just got her head down, worked and worked and worked. And I remember those early jobs with her. She was so nervous, but she kept trying. And in the end, people got to love her because they found what a really nice person she is. And Harry just trashing her like that, I really wanted to smack him one. I thought it was an awful thing to do. She's been nothing but nice to him. I remember once when I think it was 2017, and he made some stupid mistake, a statement about he didn't want to be a member of the royal family anymore. And I remember talking to her about it the next day. She said, he's such a lovely boy. Camilla, all she said was how nice he was, speaking...
Listen, I've known Camilla a long time. She comes from the next door village to me. I've known her a long time in her family. They're incredibly nice people, very down to earth, very normal. I had lunch with her, this now infamous lunch with Jeremy Clarkson was out just before Christmas. She was utterly delightful to everyone. And I don't think she deserves this.
No, do I.
To be called a dangerous villain by Prince Harry as we head towards a coronation where her and Charles are going to, be crowned our king and queen of this country. I just felt it was so damaging and unnecessary. Tessa, defend it.
I just would like, as it's all about truth and accuracy, I'm not sure he called her a dangerous villain.
Well, he did. He called her a villain and dangerous.
No, he explained that she was the villain of the piece because she was the other woman. Slightly taken out of context, in fact, that line.
Yeah, but he knows what he's right. He knows when he writes those things, that'll be the headline.
You're crediting him with high intelligence, and I think Harry has many things. No, I don't think he's stupid, actually.
I don't think anyone would accuse him of high intelligence.
I think he has high EQ.
I think he's got high ego, and we're seeing the full blast of it right now. What about the way he generally talks about women?
Can we just pick up on the Camilla thing and what you two have both said, that she's charming, that, she's the woman next door, literally, for you, the village next door, that she does have this very natural way. She's comfortable in her skin. She fits in. She gets on with it. She loves a gin. She loves a fag. We all love Camilla. Do you know, when that replaces your dead mother and when you feel like an outsider, there's umbrage there.
Yeah, but sure.
There's a feeling...
But hang on. His mother died in 1997. Yeah. We're now 2022. He's nearly 40 years old. All right? There comes a time... It's 2023. There comes a time when you just have to not move on and forget your mother, but actually accept your father's very happy with a woman you've been married to for 17 years. Why would you try and ruin her reputation in the run-up to the coronation?
I think there's probably aspects of jealousy. where she has managed to rehabilitate her image. And interestingly, she's done that in Britain. She hasn't successfully done that in other realms, or indeed within the Commonwealth, where things are on much thinner ice. And
she hasn't been given a chance yet.
But it is, therefore, his point stands, really, that it is about her ability to work alongside the press, of which both of you two are significant players.
Sure.
So that point stands. Now, as for his relationship with his stepmother, only they know the real truth, don't they? And we're only hearing one side.
We're never going to hear Camilla's side.
Camilla has other things to protect.
No,
her.
Camilla will never. She will never respond to any of this. And that's why I feel sorry for all the royals, because they're trapped now with this hand grenade going off.
The thing is that Camilla had to endure such vicious attacks from the press and a level of violence from the public that Meghan
and a lot of
never
hate
did.
mail. I
remember
it was never even close.
I remember when Camilla had bread rolls thrown at her.
That story was not true.
Well,
she says it's not true.
Maybe it wasn't, but there was. She really was at one point the most hated woman in Britain. And Diana, who was much cleverer with the press and was younger and more beautiful.
Well, Diana learned to work with the media. I mean, she used to work with me.
Harry
used to ring me up and brief me about stuff.
But the point is that Camilla never complained.
No.
She never schemed. I mean, I've known her since I was 18.
I agree.
She's incapable of
Incredibly nice lady. Let me ask you, on a wider point, about the way that he talks about other women in this book, and in particular, not just taking down his sister-in-law, which he does, I mean, revealing text messages after his wife sues a newspaper for revealing contents of a letter from her father. The brass neck of Harry to then reveal text messages without the consent of Kate in his book to make money.
Yes, but what struck me is the tawdriness of the book, the sexual aspects, which you might
mounting older women behind the pub.
Yeah, you might expect that from a reality TV star. But
even the Kardashians would edit that out.
But you don't expect it from the royal family. And it is very sexist. It's very disrespectful.
And the stuff about this poor matron,
women.
Pat Jones, she has a name, Pat Jones. She was the matron at Lovegrove School. He calls her greasy, he calls her ugly. None of the boys got horny when they saw her. She had a spinal deficiency, which he mocked and did it in person. He mocked the way she walked.
Exactly. Why does he have
How can he defend any of that?
And why does he have to talk about Todgers, for example?
Oh, but more importantly, how can he take down his matron like that?
I want to make 2 points. One, to answer your specific question on the matron. That is preparatory school mentality.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think they should be confined to the dustbin.
Why would you put it in a book?
Yes, but it's been written
Why, when you're
now.
supposedly a great feminist, why would you annihilate this poor innocent woman? We don't even know if she's alive or not, or whether her family have read this. But this was probably something she talked about. I was a matron to Prince Harry.
Just hang on. It was written now.